Good morning, Mr. Mathur, Mr. Chopra, Ms. Arora, Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. This is my real pleasure and honor to be with you today. This event, organized together by the European Union and the CII to discuss our cooperation in the field of climate change, energy and sustainability is an important part. But this is not the beginning, of our path. As it was mentioned, we launched our partnership in this field in 2016, and today, throughout the whole day, we will discuss where we are, what have been already achieved, and how to find new ways for deepening and strengthening our cooperation. And I was really honored yesterday that together with the new Minister of State for Environment, Forestry and Climate Change, Dr. Sharma, I opened a very important event, CII Summit on Sustainability. And this, it's not only another type of event when governmental officials used to meet and to make nice declarations. The fact that this summit was organized by the CII and we have hundreds of representatives of the Indian and European business community yesterday was a clear reflection that the private sector is in very close cooperation with the Indian government, and directly or indirectly with the European Union. Is a very positive factor because we are discussing now very concrete measures and action to implement or to achieve our objectives. That's why allow me once again to welcome you warmly to this interesting day, which we have called or named the India-EU Clean Energy and Climate Conclave. And once again, we are very pleased to organize this event inside the CII Sustainability Summit, as it allows us to link together the important agendas on clean energy, climate action, and broader sustainability issues. So I am very happy that we have today with us NITI Aayog, which plays a crucial role in promoting sustainability development in India. Today is a very important milestone for us, where we take stock of the EU-India collaboration on clean energy and climate action and present some of the results we have achieved so far. We hope that the day will bring many interesting insights too, and will allow us to discuss the opportunities for strengthening the partnership even more in the future. Those of you who heard my address yesterday will already be familiar with the India-EU Clean Energy and Climate Partnership, which was agreed between Prime Minister Modi and the European leaders during the summit in 2016. Today, please allow me to dig a bit deeper into the substance of our partnership, which has a work program covering a very wide array of clean energy and climate-related priorities. It means that to some extent, this workshop and 4 sessions planned for later today will take stock what we have achieved so far. EU and India both have ambitious plans for our energy transition as a means of combating climate change. By 2030, the share of renewable energy in the European Union energy mix should be at least 25%. The increase in energy efficiency should be 30% by that year, and the decrease of greenhouse emissions by 40%, everything in comparison with 1990. And the implementation of these commitments is very well ahead of the curve. Also, there is here in India, significant commitments and actions are happening, as you know better than me. But all these objectives we have put on our table and agreed within the European Union and presented at the international arena are very ambitious. It means that there's a long way in front of us to achieve our objectives. The EU and India has had an energy policy level dialogue in place since a few years. And renewable energy, energy efficiency, and energy security are clearly identified priorities. The EU is also partnering with India on concrete initiatives on the ground here in India related to designing the first offshore wind plant of the coast of Gujarat. We cooperate with the MNRE on that. Supporting the rollout of solar parks program, the implementation of the rooftop solar program, the implementation of energy efficiency in building legislation. We also cooperate with India on smart grids. It means that this list is really long, and behind my words there are concrete projects and concrete action on the ground. Other bilateral cooperation priorities which are being developed also include our support to the International Solar Alliance, the work on modeling energy scenarios in the framework of our energy security dialogue, the work on energy efficiency of products in the framework of mission innovation. Recently I met your Minister for Biofuels and Natural Gas, and this is another very promising avenue for future cooperation. We have interaction on some other issues as well, like energy storage. We have developed mechanism for developing a EU-India platform for clean energy financing. I'm really proud and glad to tell you that European Investment Bank, which is one of the EU institutions, has already provided loans and credit lines for more than 1 billion euros. And recently we opened our EIB opened its office here, which is part of my office, the EU delegation, and we are preparing now a new agreements related to energy and environment and infrastructure projects. In the international arena, the EU and India are like-minded partners and consider climate action and the clean energy transition as an imperative for the future development of our societies. Both sides are committed to effective implementation of the Paris Agreement in all its aspects, including mitigation, adaptation, finance, technology development and transfer, capacity building, and transparency of action and support. And this is very important, and I would like to underline once again, despite of policies taken by some other countries, the European Union and India both confirm their full commitment to the implementation of Paris Agreement, which is a very good political and declaratory base for more concrete cooperation. And both sides are convinced that stepping up action will provide significant opportunities for modernizing our economies, enhancing competitiveness, and ensuring social economic benefits of increased clean energy success. If we are to achieve our long-term goals of keeping global temperature rise well below 2 degrees, we will need to invest in technologies that will accelerate decarbonization. The International Energy Agency estimates that the implementation of the national climate plans, the so-called INDCs, will mean more than $13 trillion of investments in renewable and energy efficiency over the next 15 years globally. And let me give some examples of what the clean energy transition has already meant in Europe. We have 3 times more renewable power per capita in the EU than anywhere else in the rest of the world. It means that we are really well advanced. Last year, as another example, Denmark produced 42% of its electricity from wind turbines, setting a new world record in this field. We are good in developing and exporting technologies. Every year, our companies sell new technologies related to energy sector with a value of 35 billion euros. Since some 40% of the world's wind turbines are made by European companies. But a few months ago, I attended a big exhibition here in India, and I noticed that there is a very good cooperation was already established between Indian and European companies. And some European companies, they transfer already their technologies. They invested here in India together with Indian partners to produce such type of equipment in India as well. And what is important in the European context and as well in the Indian context, that renewables create jobs. The sector already employs in Europe more than 1 million people with a turnover of 130 billion euros. It means that the investments in new technologies, investment in new sectors of energy, as well as this social, economic dimension through creating jobs. That's why the importance of innovation and technology transfer should be always very much highlighted. And as relevant technologies become available at scale now, costs will come down, enabling climate policies to become more ambitious. This has been our experience in Europe. That's why more and more renewable sectors of our energy is becoming cheaper and cheaper and competitive in the electricity market. That's why the Paris Agreement sends a clear signal to private sector, to investors, businesses, and policymakers that the global transition to low-carbon technologies is here to stay. And the sooner businesses, private sector is able to step into this sector and to take bold decisions, is the better for the future. In Europe, in order to bring about the necessary transformation of our energy system, significant private investments will be needed. We estimate that by 2030, the European private sector will invest or will need to invest between 500 up to 600 billion euros. This is a huge challenge, but at the same time, there's a big opportunity for the private sector to be more competitive and effective. This is our future, and the same relates to India. That's why, once again, I'm so happy that this summit is organized by the CII with a very significant participation of private businesses. Dear friends, you will see that workshop topics which we have selected for today's conclave later today, like green cooling, mid-century strategy, cities and climate change, international cooperation on technology, will allow us to further deepen our discussions on the clean energy transition and climate action. I hope that this today's conference will lead towards identification of new avenues for India and the European Union to work together in all the above areas. And we as the European Union, saying the European Union, I mean the European institution, European member states, European businesses, research institutions, we are really fully committed to work with all Indian counterparts to make our cooperation in this field even more, deeper and better developed. That's why we, as the European Union, we will facilitate all type of contacts between different stakeholders. Because my idea and our idea is that we should not limit our contacts only to meetings between officials. We need to bring all stakeholders together. That's why I'm so happy that so many participants we have here, and I really apologize that probably we don't have enough seats, as interest is really very high. And as I mentioned, we want to bring all stakeholders together, because please remember that we are a regional integration organization consisting of 28 member states, and each member state has its own strength, its own advantages. That's why we are able to bring together our capacity throughout the whole Europe. Dear friends, and let me again thank the CII and the private sector, as well NITI Aayog, as I already mentioned, and we want to rely on NITI Aayog very much in the future, and other parts of the Indian government for valuable cooperation we are developing on clean energy and climate change. But also on other areas, which I mentioned yesterday, I'm not going into details now. Our cooperation related to the same topic is developed already on water, circular economy, air quality, smart and sustainable urbanization. Everything contributes to the sustainability of our cooperation, the implementation of Agenda 2030. That's why, once again, thanks to CII, thank you to my colleagues, the representatives of EU embassies who are here, and a special thanks to my very good friend, ambassador of Bhutan. Because Bhutan, again, I'm accredited to Bhutan as well. That's why I travel to Bhutan very often. And we have developed as well very constructive and result-oriented cooperation with Bhutan in the field of clean energy and climate change. That's why I'm really happy that I'm able to contribute to develop such cooperation with India, but as well with Bhutan. Ambassador, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. I wish you good workshops later today with bright ideas for our future cooperation, and you can rely on my further support. Thank you.